Hello everybody, my name's Frank. I own Austin Jewelers, been making jewelry for about 30 years. Had my shop running here for about 16. This little project is the top, well not the top, but the whole ring from one of the waxes that I have set up here, my studio, my workshop I should say. And it's going from a matrix to designing the top in matrix instead of diamond cutting and stone setting the traditional way. I just thought that this one here is going to really be a little bit more exciting for the finished product. Little skull in there, beads already done, multiple stones, multiple sizes. I mean, it's a setter's nightmare. You got you know, a whole day's worth of work there. So I hope you enjoy. The customer's rings. This is the ring he picked, one of my traditional patterns right from the shop here. Shot the wax. I mic'd out a list of all the gems, made a list, 22 gems. I imported the gems, straightforward matrix buttons. You go to gems and the little gem finder will come up here, wherever it is now, there it is. And you import them, right, it'll just drag them right out like 2.4, there it is there. And you know, I knew I needed 6 of those. I copied them and I got 6 of them, got them all laid out. And then once I got them laid out on top of the plate, they're the regular height. I just dragged them up to where I wanted them, and then used one of the function, built the beads, put the beads onto place, and then cut the gems into position so that if you take a gem out of there, there's a seat. And this I imported from one of my other files. Okay, so I'm going to bring this into Artcam. Okay, here's the imported ring top. This the grid around there is the material. That's the front relief, the machined relief. Okay, this red pattern is what Artcam's famous for. That's the milling program. If anybody doesn't understand milling program, it starts from the very center on the bottom of the plate, 0, 0, 0. And so each of these little spots on here, these little red spots, is a numeric value. Like everywhere where this thing moves, it understands it as a numerical value, so that it travels from here to here in a straight line. It knows that coordinate. So if you imagine how many ups and downs that is, but it calculates it in a few seconds. So I saved that file as an MMG file, and the computer and the controller will understand it so that I can mill it. Okay, I got it loaded into a Mach 3. There's the head. You can see it, but if you drag it out, we're going to want to watch it. Anyways, my mill's set up. We know that the height off the deck is 25. The program, that red program now is a numerical sequence, because everything goes off of 0, 0, 0, the starting point of where the bit is at 25 millimeters. So it's going to know numerically where to go. And these stepper motors, the stepper motors in here where you can't actually see one. The stepper motors are in here, and they're just super precise. This mill is good to 1/50th of a millimeter. And I've changed the bit, all sorts of broken bits and other bits here, and my little selection of good bits. And so I'm going to get the mill running with this. Off the mill goes, cutting the piece. I'm going to go into the shop and work for however long it takes. And then I close the cabinet so it's not so noisy. Okay, it's finished. 17 minutes, 18 minutes. That's going to be cool. I used a little ball burr, probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 millimeter there. Gouged out the back and put it up against the light so you can see the depth. So, I mean, that piece is ready to cast. I'm going to cast the pieces separately, because this one I'm going to cast it around 350 degrees. And then this piece here, I put in with another piece that I'm doing. I'm going to cast it probably around 1,000 degrees. All right, there's the waxes. The steel thing's called the flask. That's the sprue base. I put a little bit of tape around there, number them so I know which one's which. The investment, that's the powder. I'm going to get the water going, lukewarm, not lukewarm, but lightly warm to the touch, and I'm just going to mix that up. And you gotta mix it. You mix it for like 30 seconds, 35 seconds, 40 seconds. Makes a difference. And once into the vacuum machine, just in the bowl, up to 30 inches mercury. I mean, now I'm not going to get into explaining what that is. Look it up. Complete vacuum in here like outer space. Takes out all the air in the fluid. All right. See it rising there, and now it's kind of going in on itself, and it's boiled. Okay, there it's dropped. It's gone down. That's what they want. I mean, this thing will keep boiling if you just leave it. Okay, open it. We go all the way down. Shut the machine off. For the investment into the flasks, yes, you got them numbered, so now if I can't see them, I know which one's which. I wrote down the wax weight on a piece of paper, 1 and 2, right? And I'm going to get it up to 30 inches mercury. See how it's starting to rise? It's starting to rise and boil again. Okay, and just, you see how it's gotten to a nice little rolling boil there? You don't need much more than that. Don't shake it, don't do anything now, just turn it off. Now, everybody says, well, you gotta shake it, do all this. No, that's what the vacuuming's for, getting rid of the air bubbles. Okay, you don't wanna, the only thing I do is take them out, because you know what? We have to use the machine for the next batch. So take them out, put them aside, okay, scrape the numbers into the top of the flask, pull them off the bases, into the oven. There's my gold flask. Put one over here, one over here. Here we go. Sorry, I gotta cut it. Computerized kiln, digital readout. I got a delay on there, 5 hours. It'll fire up at around midnight. Cook for the night. Fans on, and I'll cast next morning. And I think it's about 9:30 in the morning. I got 3 hours left. It's down to 962. I had the door open for a second. Beautiful casting. Just pull one out and show it. Look at how clean that burnout is. Okay, so I'm ready to cast. Casting's a little bit tough to capture. I only got 2 hands. So the rings, we're going to sweat the tops off. Boom, boom. And then take them apart after. But I need the yellow gold off them because he wants the sentimental value of the yellow gold in the metal ready for casting. Remember what I said? Number 1, number 2. Number 1, I'm going to cast right at this heat here, 1000. Then I'm going to turn it off and wait till the furnace goes down to about 400 to cast the large ring. So I know that the specific gravity of 0.8 times 1.57, which is 10 karat gold, I'll know that roughly somewhere around 12-13 grams for the top. Well, that's too much, but anyways, let me see. That would be good for the top, right? Okay. Okay, I got it going. I'm going to try to catch it the best I can. Flasks in there. He's checking this number 1. They throw in a little bit of borax. I get it up to a nice pool, and I've got the machine wound up. Torch off. Oh, gloves, glasses, all that type of stuff. I'll show you how that turns out. Now I'm going to let this spin, right? Remember always to take a few minutes for yourself. Have a coffee. That's good. Look how nice and clean the flask is. Look how nice the button is. Put it aside and let it wait for a while. Cast off. Scrubbed it with a little bit of a wire brush, the top piece here, and cleaned it off best I could. Into the ultrasound, on with the ultrasound, leave it for a while. And the investment, instead of letting it pile up, garbage, don't pour it down the sink. Run the sink for a while, and there's a trap here to catch all the stuff too. Out of the ultrasound after a few minutes, all cleaned. Then, hard to do this with one hand. into the pickle. Okay, this is the scrap stuff that he brought into me. It's gold. I acid tested it. Always treat yourself, like not treat yourself, but always make sure that you cover yourself and melt it down, and melt it right down, and then pour it into some water. But borax the shit out of it. And take the time. You know, it takes a few seconds. Acid test a piece that's come out of the out of your little cleanup, right? So how nice and clean it is now. Good 10 carat. Number 2, 4.2 on 4.2 times 1.57 equals, we need roughly 48 grams. He's got plenty here. And we'll go from there. We'll add, you know, it's a big piece. So 48, 54, maybe just, like I say, throw in a couple extra. Yeah, that'll do. 60. Casting the ring now. I'm not going to go through the whole thing again, but you can see I'm getting the pieces up there, lock the borax through, everything like that. I'm not going to go through all the stuff again. That's, you know, what I'm doing with it. I already did that one. Okay, and I'm going to cut off the sprues and things like that. So, beautiful piece. Okay, here's the stuff. There's the diamonds. I sweated the tops off. There's the scrap gold. Here's the... sorry, I cut my finger. The casting turned out beautiful. I must have cast it probably at around only 200 degrees, the flask. And this one I cast at 1,000. And so, I'm gonna cut everything, solder it together, finish it, cut the sprues off. Okay, so it's coming along. At, you know, with the multiple of tools, files, and you know, several different files, right, and things like that, and different attachments for your Fortum. You know, your polishing, cleaning, sanding, getting these up, and see how this is starting to come up now, and this fits in there just beautifully. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Look at that. That's going to be a beautiful piece. Okay? I don't know, I might flip it around. I'll just check which way is the top. I've already hallmarked it. Big pieces like this, sometimes I hallmark in the wax. Where am I at now? So I've sanded all the pieces, kind of got them ready. You can see I'm buffing them and polishing them. They're not soldered together yet. And notice that I have not done anything to the top. I'm going to set it and then polish it, because I don't want to mess with the beads. But I've polished the sides to make them all nice. So once I sweat them together, solder them together. And yes, I use gloves. I'll push on the pieces after I've polished them now. Get all the wax and everything off them, ready for solder. Okay, I sweated the pieces together. I had the light off, red hot. Put a little bit of solder on each corner before I put it in there, and a little bit of solder on the round. So then I sweated it up red hot, made sure I can see the solder moving and flowing, and it's going to polish up. I had it already ultra polished. I think I showed you that. And then so into the pickle for a little bit. I got it out of the acid, and if you pre-polished everything, like the next, like to repolish it again, it's really, you see how that just comes up real quick. And so all those areas that you've already polished, like in the back here, I know I haven't polished the face. I'm going to do that with a brush lightly, but the rest of it's just going to come up spotless. I'm going to use a brush like that on the face of it. And I'm not going to go for a super polish right now. I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit. See what I'm going to be real careful about the beads. Don't, like, using a brush like this and cleaning up around the beads, around the edge here, and between Triple E and the Rouge, coming up really nice. Okay, I got her chucked up in the vise on the stone setting bench if I need to use those. But this should be pretty straightforward. This will just put some of my regular glasses on. Nice manipulative type thing. It's an old ring stretcher, and I just put it in the lathe, drilled a hole on it, bent a piece of aluminum, put it in here. It's quite sturdy. I mean, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be beautiful for doing a job like this. Okay, no shot should be without one, your micrometer. So 5.14, that's the big one there. So I'll go to the drawer, find my 5, and seat it. Get that seat looking nice and shiny. Get that in there. Look at that thing. Now, find ourselves a burr, a pusher, and just push those existing claws. Oh, sorry. Boom. Now again, unfortunately, I can't do this. I only have 2 hands. Okay, so I need to hold the vise, hold the camera, and hold the setting tool. It's not going to happen. Anyways, I'm out the gate, set in stones. A little bit more work at this. You know, you cut the top with this thing here, and you score all the... And, fudge signals. Okay, I've kind of organized them into sizes, just by eye. And I'm going to clean up the seats, and I'm going to set them in there. I'm just going to go back to the matrix file and refresh my memory. I know the ones on the outside here, I think here and here, like here were the larger ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then this bottom one was a large one. And then these were, then there was 3 small ones, or 4 small ones, and so on. So I'm going to figure that out real quick and kind of lay it out. It's way, I guess it's just only being a matter of minutes. Okay, don't push the claw down. Get on it. Oh, where'd it go? It's so hard to do. Hold the camera and do everything while I'm at it. But get on it. Now, unfortunately, I can't hold the vise and hold the camera. But bend it over. Not, like I say, don't push it down. Get on it and bend it over. All right? Okay. Now that you've bent the claws, like I described, you get on the claw and you bend it over. But once you have the claw bent over, like go around now these, like say you're doing a little section, go around with the beading tool, right? Where is it? Oh, that's good. It's a little concave little end on it. And then you just push down and give it a little swirl to polish your top. Now I'm pushing down. Okay? If that makes any sense. Okay, one of the claws wants to be difficult. A sharp cutter type. Okay, too bad you couldn't see it. There we go, like a cutter. And then I'm just going to get in behind, because it's a little bit kind of to the skull. I'm just going to cut it away from the skull and push it down. And then get on it with the beading tool afterwards and just kind of push it and make it look nice and round. Well, here we are. There's going to be a little bit more polishing in the background now, but generally this ring is done and it's in mint shade. Oh, somebody's at the door. Gotta let him in. All right. Okay, now a bit more polishing, all behind the settings and everything like that, with some rouge and the brush wheel. Well, it turned out fantastic. I'm quite thrilled how well it went, and it's ultra polished. It's ready for the customer. I think he's going to be thrilled. And this is my disclaimer. Austin Jewelers. The video is the sole property of Austin Jewelers, or Frank the Jeweler. Made by me at Austin Jewelers, and no use of the video in whole or in part without the express consent of me. We're Austin Jewelers. Thank you very much for watching, you guys. Appreciate her.